So, Friedrich Nietzsche looked around and saw that the very foundation of Western civilization had basically crumbled. And his response? He wrote a kind of New Testament for the modern age. Thus spoke Zarathustra. Now, this is a wild, prophetic, and, let's be honest, a really challenging book. But it's designed to guide us through the rubble. So let's dive in and explore its core message.
And right away, we get this, probably the single most explosive declaration in all of modern philosophy. But here's the thing, Nietzsche isn't celebrating, he's sounding an alarm. What he's really saying is that the concept of God, the bedrock of meaning, morality, and purpose in the West for 2,000 years, it's just not believable anymore. And we're the ones who did it.
So, you see, this isn't about triumph at all. It's a crisis. If God is gone, what happens to our ideas of good and evil? What's the point of our lives? This question just opens up this terrifying vacuum, this huge void right at the center of human existence. And it's into this very void that Nietzsche sends a prophet.
And that prophet is Zarathustra. After spending 10 years in total solitude up in the mountains, his wisdom just gets so immense that he can't keep it to himself anymore. He decides he has to go under, kind of like the sun setting, to descend and share his gift with humanity, to offer us a new purpose in this void. So what is his big teaching? It's that humanity, as we know it, is not the final goal, not even close. We are a bridge, a rope stretched over a seriously dangerous abyss, connecting the animal we came from to something far, far greater, the Overman, or in German, the Übermensch. We're not an endpoint. We are something that must be overcome. But how in the world do we cross that bridge? Well, becoming the Overman isn't like flipping a switch. You don't just decide to do it one morning. Nietzsche describes it as this profound spiritual journey, a series of really radical transformations of the human spirit. And this is just fascinating. This journey starts with the camel. That's the spirit that kneels down and asks, what's the heaviest thing I can carry? It just obediently takes on the weight of tradition and duty. But then, alone in the desert, that spirit has to transform into the lion, the fierce rebel who says no to old values, destroying them to create freedom for itself. But destruction isn't the end goal. The lion has to then become the child, a symbol of innocence, a new beginning, a sacred yes to life, creating its own values from a place of pure joy. Now, Zarathustra also gives us a pretty stark warning. The biggest danger isn't failing on this path, it's complacency. He warns us about the last human being, the person who just gives up the struggle of self-overcoming for a nice, easy life of comfort and security. They are the herd, the people who can't even despise themselves for how small they've become. And they really represent the dead end of human evolution. So, just as Zarathustra seems to be hitting a wall, being rejected by the very people he came to teach, he has this incredible revelation that changes absolutely everything. It turns out it's not just about overcoming humanity, it's about overcoming our entire idea of time itself. And there it is. This is the moment that unlocks everything. Our whole understanding of life as a straight line, you're born, you live, you die, the end, he says that's all an illusion. Zarathustra realizes that truth isn't linear at all, it's crooked. And time? Well, time is just an endless circle. This leads him to his most radical, and maybe his most famous idea, eternal recurrence. Just try to imagine this. Every single moment of your life, every bit of joy, every ounce of sorrow, every single mistake is going to be repeated, not just once, but an infinite number of times in exactly the same way. Now, your first reaction to that might be pure terror. I get it. But for Zarathustra, it's the ultimate liberation. Think about it. If everything comes back again and again, you're suddenly free from the immense pressure of living one single life that just leads to a final end. It empowers you to live in such a way that you'd actually want every moment to return, forever. And this whole new way of thinking is captured perfectly in this bizarre, almost hallucinatory vision. Zarathustra sees a young shepherd, just writhing on the ground, choking in total agony. And the cause of his suffering? It's a heavy, black snake that has crawled right into his throat and bitten down hard. He's a total victim, helpless, and he's about to die. So what does Zarathustra do? Instead of trying to pull the snake out, he just screams this one single, shocking command. He doesn't offer pity. He offers a challenge. Bite.
And the shepherd actually obeys. He bites down with all his might, severs the snake's head, and spits it away. In that one moment, he is completely transformed. He's no longer a choking victim, no longer just a human. He's an illuminated being, laughing a laugh that isn't even human laughter. He confronted the very thing that was destroying him and asserted his own power over it.
Okay, so after all of that, where does this leave us? This whole incredible journey, killing God, becoming the overman, embracing eternal time, it all comes together in a new philosophy for how to live, right here, right now. And the final message is really clear. Forget all those promises of other worlds or afterlives and be faithful to this earth, to your body. Life isn't about reaching some perfect, static state of being. It's about the constant, dynamic process of becoming. And the engine driving all of this is what Nietzsche calls the will to power. Now, that's not about dominating other people. It's the deep down drive in everything to overcome obstacles, to grow, and to reach its absolute fullest potential. And this quote? This is just brilliant. It perfectly illustrates the entire drive behind the philosophy. It's like a perfect parody of those old classical arguments for God's existence. Zarathustra reveals the heart of the overman, the drive for self-overcoming, the will to power, is so strong that it just cannot tolerate a superior being. The very impulse to become a god is all the proof you need that none can exist above us. Ultimately, Zarathustra's journey teaches us that real greatness, creation, transformation, the birth of what he calls a dancing star, that doesn't come from order and security. It comes from embracing the chaos inside of ourself. So, the final question this all leaves us with is a really personal one. In your own quest for comfort, have you silenced that chaos? Or are you still capable of giving birth to a dancing star?